Hi, being needy is about the biggest problem. It's one of the biggest problems the modern man is facing. Now, in this video, I'm basically going to tell you how you can be non-needy, and also at the very end, I'll be telling you how you can avoid the pitfall of actually not being needy. Because it's one thing to be not needy, it's one thing to be a narcissist. So let's get with me. So neediness, I would say, is a feeling of not being complete because something or someone is not present with you. And then why are we needy? It starts with our desires, which are okay. And it's okay to have desires. But when we see that we have desires or things that we want, and we begin to focus more on the things that we don't have, that could create a form of neediness. So we want this thing. At the same time, we are focusing on us not having it. So we begin to obsess over that thing we don't have. And then in the process, creates a form of neediness, a form of attachment. Okay, I think I'll be happy when I get that. So, a short story. My dad, he had this business, and I remember a bank coming to meet him, and they were stylishly asking him to come and take a loan for his business. But for some reasons, he said no, and I've discussed that in the previous video. So, fast forward to a couple of years later, he had issues and needed money desperately. The banks basically did not come to his aid because he needed money. Still a story for another day. But that shows you that even in business, the banks don't like to give you money when you need it. They like to give you money when you want it. So now, how does being needy affect you as a person if you are a needy person? Is that when you're needy, you become easy to control. That's how governments, that's how the modern woman easily controls the modern man by what he thinks he lacks. Also, when you are needy, it's easy for corporations to control you. It's easy for social media companies to control your narrative, to control what's happening in your head. When you're needy, um, you begin to act from a place of scarcity. And sometimes you begin to misinterpret a lot of situations because of your needy. And when you're needy, it's very difficult to think properly. So now, how does it affect other people? When you're needy, you may want to control people to stay in your life. Also, when you're needy, it doesn't make you trust other people. So you begin to act from a place of fear that you might lose people instead of acting from a place of confidence that let them stay, that they should, that it's okay if they come, it's okay if they go. So let's see. Now let's talk about why you should actually become non-needy. Because when you're non-needy, people don't get to control you. You get to do things that you really want to do, which is in its very essence, living authentically. When you live authentically, that's where true joy and happiness comes from. Not from all these superficial things that we have going on. So another way of seeing this whole idea of not being needy is when things happen to you, you're fine. When you have something like maybe a car, you're fine. When you don't have a car, you're still fine. You're going to find a means of transportation. And this does not mean that you shouldn't have wants. No, it's that you will want them, but you will not need them. So what that means is that the absence of those things in your life should not determine your level of happiness or your mind generally. And we see this a lot when a guy is dating a girl, she breaks up, and then the guy is very much devastated because of this breakup, and then he begins to get into the red pill space, and then he begins to see all these content trashing women and begins to take them serious. Let's discuss steps on how we can take it from being needy to becoming less needy or non-needy. The first step is a mindset shift. This is an abundance shift that, regardless of what happens, there is abundance. If you think you need that woman to help you, just know that if she's there no more, there are still other women for you to try out. Now, when it comes to women, from my personal experience, And this is what gurus don't tell you is there is a woman for any type of man you are, at least for any form of archetype. So if you're a geek, there are women for you. If you are a business if you're a businessman, there are women that love businessmen. If you're a 9 to 5 man, there are women that love guys at 9 to 5. So don't allow any guru to put you in any box saying that, oh, you need to have this amount of money in your bank account or else your woman is not going to respect you. Money plays a huge role. There's a period, there's a part, there's a level at which it doesn't play anything anymore. I mean, I'm talking about for having a healthy relationship. So now, and with an abundance mindset, you get to realize that things can come and go. It's all right. You can either get the next one, or like I said, be fine with it. Another thing is to become self-reliant. When you're self-reliant, when you think you want something, it's easier for you to work towards that object and basically have a way of getting it. So what that means is that you don't entirely just sit down there and assume that all will be well. You actively have ways of working towards it because you're self-reliant. You have to rely on yourself to get everything done, and that is a very good one. Also, for you to become less needy, let me see. You need some form of real life experience. Sorry, the battery drained out. You need some form of real life experience. So, what's real life experience? Is that if you're finding it difficult to probably attract girls, you're probably going to have to at least speak to them regardless. As I so, what that means is instead of having to buy someone's course or watch endless videos on how to get girls, go out there. So instead of and what this will help you to do is to help you to get proper understanding of what is really happening. For example, if let's on the discussion of girls, if you're finding it difficult to get girls, and you're trying, you get to realize that if you investigate properly, because you're actually doing it, you figure out what is missing. To most people, because they think shallow, they assume, oh, I should just get rich. And when I'm rich, I attract all the girls. Oh, I'm talking to this lady, and she likes guys that have muscles. I've spoken to 10 women, and I figured that it's guys that have muscles that they are interested in. Well, that's just the 10. What else? How many girls have you spoken to? So as time goes on, you begin to have a very clear understanding as what what you need to achieve, what you would need to get done if you want to attract more girls. So have that real life experience. With this comes understanding. And one other part about learning this, you need to enjoy solitude. Trust me. When you enjoy solitude, you are fine when people come into your life, or you are fine when people leave. Now, let's talk about the pitfall of this idea of being non-needy. That to be very frank, when you're non-needy, when women walk into your life, they'll feel like you're not appreciating them because you don't need them. But when you create that space for them consciously, so what that means is she has roles she's playing in your life. That, mind you, don't need them because if they're not there, those roles can be filled. But you are creating those roles intentionally because you want her to feel appreciated and somehow you're grateful for it. But if she goes, you're still okay. Like you can still easily fill out those spaces. So another pitfall is when you become non-needy, it's easy to become narcissistic and feel the world should bow to you. You begin to have this large sense of ego. This could blind you from your judgment and make you make like very rash decisions. Now, what you can do in such a context is realize that when you become non-needy, it becomes very, very easy to help those in need. For example, is when you become non-needy and you build a family, it's easier to provide for them. When you become less needy, as a police officer, you're easy to protect people on the street because you are less needy. You are self-sufficient, and that's basically the secret of soldiers. They are so self-sufficient that they are the ones that the country puts forward to defend the country. Someone who is needy and in the military is definitely going to have problems in the real battlefield, in the real life. So that is it. Thank you very much for showing up. Kindly share my video with somebody who you think will be interested in it, or will find it valuable. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.